Okay, we're live. Holy fuck. Good.
Oh, and we're zoomed in. Never mind.
Position 1. I guess it's going off of speed.
It might be my hand, actually, because I keep playing with my hair.
Yeah, don't make this. We're just gonna, zoom in. This is position 1. So, camera has its own mind. Good foot dog, love. Foot dog.
Bloof dog. Okay. Night, Cody. Waiting and excited to see my mother. Oh, that's right. They're releasing a new House of the Dragon season, right? Is that what all the hype is about? I saw something about how New York put banners on a bridge.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it was a Brooklyn bridge.
Yeah. Okay. Shorts are active.
Yeah, I think we're good.
Fucking
That
ads.
man, bot.
Already?
Yeah.
We just started. Okay. Shit.
What?
YouTube is good.
/ ban cat feed.
I can do it.
I'm so-
Jesus. Okay. Now are we ready? Also, it sounds like Tulip is somewhere she's not supposed to be.
Okay. Did you...
She sounds like she's in the litter box again.
Probably is in the litter box.
Did I what?
Nothing. I didn't say did you.
Actually. Okay. Yep. Sure. You have everything set now?
Yeah, I'm good to go. Are you ready? I was born ready, I suppose. Kind of. If I didn't know any better, I'd be like, is that weed she's smoking? But it's the vape.
Did you say a weed? Is that a weed she's smoking?
No, weed. Is that weed she's
you
smoking?
Said a weed.
I didn't say a weed.
That's
I mean,
funny.
you could smoke a weed.
But also, you're like, this is all I can see.
Okay. Well, I don't know how else to do it. Ow. It pinched me. Like this? Hello.
Sure.
I'm gonna put the laptop here like this here. You see it?
Okay. Yeah.
All right. I think we're ready. I want one white pillow too.
Okay.
So,
Uh-huh.
ready with the intro?
We still have to practice this. Like,
Come on.
we don't even have it down yet. What was it again?
PG Bobs of a hole. I'm aware. That's why I'm using this. Now you can imagine the hole. How lewd. But anyway. What were we doing? Right.
Intro.
What did we say last time?
I think it was just like, welcome. I think you wanted us to like
Yeah,
split
yeah.
it.
It was like, welcome to couples therapy.
And then in together we did
Nice.
like in disguise.
You don't like it? You want to change it
I
up?
just feel so corny doing it. That's all.
Okay, so you don't want to be corny.
I didn't say I don't like it. I just feel awkward and corny. Because
Fair.
that's a me problem.
Fair. Very fair, Becca.
Do you actually want to do an intro
Yeah,
or
let's do it. It's been a while. Why are you laughing? Why are you laughing?
Because it has. You realize how long ago we did the first
When we do it?
episode? It was.
It was when he was not too like.
He wasn't too tall.
It was when the power outage occurred, which was probably like yesterday.
Oh my god! Shut up. It was. I want to say it was like pre-Boston.
Probably was pre-Boston.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's been a while.
It has been a while. But do you remember exactly when?
No. I don't know why you would expect me to remember exactly when.
Okay, well.
I'm so tired.
Are you ready?
Yeah.
It's been a while, but here we are again, in need of another episode. The second episode of A Couples Therapy.
In disguise.
In disguise. That was awesome. But
Yes,
anyway,
it
let's just
was.
get on with it.
I feel like we spent too much time on this.
So
We'll have to practice
last
this.
time I had on a period cramp kind of simulating thing while we were talking for like an hour and a half or so, or 2 hours.
I think it was like 2 hours.
I mean, I think I have the world record of enduring the period cramp simulation. You know, I don't know any other man who's done it, at least, you know, through social media, for more than an hour or more than 2 hours.
Perhaps.
I think so. I think the ultimate challenge would be to put it on and wrap those melons around me. For
I still
more
think
than
we
2
should do
hours.
that. And then, like, you have to go out in public like that. Like, we have to run
public?
errands. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
So, like, with a watermelon around your stomach, we'll get you some, like, cantaloupes wrap around your chest. Put the simulator on you.
Okay.
And you can do, like, house chores, you know, dishes,
Yeah,
swapping the laundry.
Super easy, I think. Honestly.
And then, like, we have to go out and buy groceries or something.
Super easy. Easy. Honestly. But we did also talk about briefly women's health. I mean, you can't really fit subjects like that in the span of about an hour.
True.
Right?
Yeah, there's a lot.
So I'm going to start off this episode with something wild.
Oh, no.
It's actually from your favorite subreddit.
Oh, no.
And that favorite subreddit of Becca's is Am I the Asshole? Ah, yes. Alright. So, here's one. You ready for it? Mm-hmm. Am I the asshole? My boyfriend drank another woman's breast milk. I am 25 years old female, boyfriend, who is 24 male, drank another woman's breast milk. He got it off Facebook Marketplace. Someone had posted they had excess supplies they wanted to give to babies in need. I tried to tell him that, but he disagreed and said it was for everybody, and because it was free, he went to get it. He literally fucking drank it. He got the milk, and he drank it. I am so disgusted. To me, this is like cheating. To him, he says it was just an experiment. He says I am overreacting, but I feel sick. Am I the asshole? Here. Alright.
I have so many thoughts on this.
Okay. Let's hear your thoughts. Let's break it down here.
I am, like, less concerned about the fact that he drank another woman's breast milk. I mean, it's literally just milk.
Okay.
Okay. I mean, we don't get mad that the grocery store doesn't give us milk from the same cow every time.
Position 1. Position 1.
Position one. It is fixated.
Okay. I mean, you're like waving your hands around too.
Not on purpose. This is how I talk.
Unlock me. Position 1. There.
Okay.
Okay, start again.
I am less, like, concerned about the fact that he drank another woman's breast milk not being his partner. Because it's just milk.
Sure.
And my biggest problem with this is that this woman posted her excess breast milk on the Facebook Marketplace for free for mothers in need because formula is expensive. Not everybody can produce breast milk or get a baby to latch and have a successful breastfeeding for long periods of time and need something to feed their baby, because you can't give babies the milk that we buy from the store.
Sure.
It is gone through too much of a process.
Okay.
They don't get anything from it. You can't give them solid foods. Like, it's formula or breast milk. Those are your options for newborns, for infants.
Mm-hmm.
And so the fact that this woman did this with good intentions to help somebody in need, and this guy is like, well, I want to try it, so I'm going to take it. Those babies don't need it. No, that's fucked up. No. That's fucked up.
I'm just joking, but at the same time, do we want to play devil's advocate here?
Absolutely not.
No, you don't.
No, I don't.
Okay.
I think it's fine to be curious.
Sure.
About how it tastes.
Uh-huh.
But to knowingly, like this woman explicitly said, for those in need, it is free. And he thought that it would be a good idea to just go and take it because it could be for anybody. It wasn't for anybody. The purpose was to help a family that needed it. And this guy was just like, I don't have a baby, but I'm going to take that.
Okay. Is that your breakdown of everything so far?
I think the partner OP here is way off base with aligning this with cheating.
I see. Okay.
I don't think that that's remarkable, like anywhere close. I am a little disappointed that position one. I'm a little disappointed that she's more fixated that he drank another woman's breast milk than the fact that he took that from a family who needed it.
Fair. Okay, I want to break this down from my perspective. Why you look so exasperated?
No, please.
I just have a question.
Yes.
Okay, so there's some wild things on Facebook Marketplace. Mm-hmm. Because this came off Facebook Marketplace.
Sure.
I just would not have envisioned human breast milk on Facebook Marketplace for free. Mm-hmm. And what if he had gone to get it, but like a sample of it, like a little sample, like a strawful. You know, would that be okay? Would that be better than?
I don't think the
entire
seller
bag?
would have been comfortable with it. Like, she might have been weirded out. Been like, you are a grown man who wants to sample
Isn't there
this?
Isn't there like a denomination or like a kink of breast milk somewhere out there? I'm pretty sure I read on it, like somewhere in the fucking magazine.
Do not have a hard time believing that at all.
Yeah, so maybe he has that.
Maybe.
But also, let's say it was breast milk for sale for not babies, but for adult consumption. Mm-hmm. Right? And he bought it. Or he got it for free. It doesn't really matter at that point. Now, is that cheating? Let's say it wasn't meant for babies. Is that cheating?
I don't really... So we're not talking about getting it directly from the source or consuming it directly from the source. Breast milk has been bagged.
Yeah.
And typically frozen to preserve it. So when you hand it off to whoever needs it, whoever's buying it, whoever's taking it, whatever, it's in a bag.
Sure.
At that point, in my mind, it's literally just milk.
Okay.
It's just milk.
Okay.
It is a substance for the body.
Okay. Now, if he got it directly from the source...
That would definitely be cheating.
Whoa. What if there's nothing sexual about it?
When you talk about a grown person drinking from a woman's breast that is meant for an infant, somewhere in that exchange, it becomes sexualized.
I see.
It becomes a fetish, a kink, whatever you want to call it, because that is not a mother and child and providing something a child needs for survival.
Yeah.
It becomes a very intimate exchange when we're talking about grown people acting in this.
Yeah. So it'd be cheating.
I would definitely call that cheating. If he had a partner and he went to somebody giving away their breast milk and he's taking it directly from the source, that is then cheating.
Okay. Alright. So your conclusion here, is she the asshole?
I think everyone sucks here.
Everyone?
I think he sucks for taking that when it could have gone to somebody who really did need it.
Mm-hmm.
And I think she sucks for not being more mad about that and looking at this as cheating.
I mean, I kind of get it. You always, like, you live once. You only live once.
Sure.
Right? You're like, what was that old ancient saying? YOLO. Right? No. If you've never had breast milk in your life, or at least if you've never had breast milk that you remember,
sure,
the taste or texture, whatever. Well, you know what I mean? You know what I mean? Like, it's like we went to the zoo today.
Yeah.
And I was like, man.
Every animal. You're like, I wonder how it tastes.
Capybara. Are you a little curious what capybara tastes like?
Capybara.
Or what elephant tastes like?
Capybara.
You're not curious about what penguins taste like?
No.
Again, the ancient saying, YOLO.
Stop saying that.
All right. Well, do you have anything to bring up? Your turn. I brought up
my
the breast
turn.
milk. Yeah, you got any topic you want to bring up?
I wasn't aware I had to come prepared.
Me neither.
You were just like, let's do a podcast.
Yeah, I'm just
okay.
This is the second episode. Yeah.
I can pull up Reddit right now if you'd like. We can go through Am I the Asshole subreddit.
Sure, feel free. Now, I have one from the same subreddit.
Of course.
When I look through these, I'm like, are these things that you think actually happen? I feel like most of these things I read are like super fake, or just super exaggerated in some form from the real version of what may have happened, or maybe like some personal bias and perspective can color the stories. You know what I mean, or skew the narrative a bit. So I don't know what you think about that. But here's one. Found out my partner has a dildo mold of her ex. From the Am I the Asshole subreddit.
Right.
Advice needed. Long story short, but I found out that the dildo we used during sex is actually a mold of her ex-boyfriend's penis. I told her I am not okay with it still being used. She got upset and said she is not throwing it away. I feel like this is a boundary for me, one that I did not want to compromise on. They broke up over a year ago, and she does not still speak to him. I don't want my girlfriend to be getting off with her ex's tallywhacker mold. First of all, I have some opinions about this.
All right.
First opinion, I didn't even know they did that. They make molds of your penis for a dildo.
Yes.
I have a question. Do you have to be erect or not erect for this mold?
You
I'm assuming you have to be
definitely
erect.
want to be erect.
Okay. Okay, who does these molds? I don't know. But anyway, second thing, I'm like thinking to myself, I mean, good on them. Good on them. I think a lot of I don't know, I think it's more men are a bit insecure about using toys during sex.
Sure.
Cool. Good on them. But if I get that, it's like, is it cheating? Is it mentally cheating while you're having sex with your current boyfriend to use a penis mold from your ex-boyfriend? I don't know if it's cheating. Obviously, you're not cheating with them. They don't have any contact, but at the same time, like, that's a little weird to me.
So, I think that considering she is in a new relationship, she should get rid of it. I could definitely see where OP is very uncomfortable with this. But at the same time, dildos and vibrators are modeled after someone.
I don't know about someone. I've seen some of those toys, yo. You're telling me there's a 2-penis-headed motherfucker somewhere out there?
In that case, they would make, like, 2 molds and put them together. But the point is, they're modeled after some baseline.
Yeah, but you don't know who it is modeled after. It's not like it's modeled on, I don't know, like, we've been talking about him, Neil Patrick Harris's penis. God. You know what I mean? And you don't have a personal connection with that person.
Sure.
Even if he knew whose penis the baseline mold was of.
Yeah.
So I think there's a personal connection here potentially, or maybe not even. But I think I can see why
OP definitely has a right to feel uncomfortable with this.
I think definitely feel uncomfortable about this because it's like, well, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. No, I do.
Okay.
Oh, this one sounds interesting.
Are you gonna go ahead?
Am I the asshole for buying my boyfriend a thong?
Okay.
I, 26 female, don't know if it extends to a fetish, but my boyfriend, 26 male, biggest turn on is when I wear a thong. He gets very excited when I wear them, says how good I look, cups my butt when we lie next to each other while playing with the material. I generally don't have a problem with it, and I like the compliments he dishes out. However, I admittedly do find thongs uncomfortable.
Okay, sure.
And would prefer to wear full-cut briefs. When we had sex the other day, he seemed disappointed that I wasn't wearing a thong and said I wouldn't wear one every time, and I said I wouldn't wear one every time. He seemed to accept this, but when we were lying next to each other that night, he said how good I looked in one again. I went online and decided to buy him a male thong so he could experience wearing one and feel the discomfort levels. When he came home from work, I texted that I had a surprise for him. He was obviously excited, and when he got home, I gave him the thong, which I'd wrapped up in gift paper. When he opened it, his face dropped. He asked why I'd bought him this, and I just explained that maybe he should experience wearing a thong every day so that he knows what it's like. He immediately got cold and said he hadn't pushed me to wear one, just expressed a preference, and I was trying to make him feel humiliated about the turn-ons he has. I tried to talk to him, but he's clearly still annoyed. I spoke to 2 friends. One found it hilarious, while the other thought it was unnecessary, especially because it's not exactly a weird fetish.
Okay. All right. I have some thoughts about this. I'm trying to put myself into this guy's shoes. Personally, I'd be like, I'd find it funny, but maybe their sense of humor aren't matching up here. Potentially.
I don't feel like she did it to be funny, though.
That's what I'm saying, though, right? Like, I'm trying to look at this from his perspective. Like, is this a joke? Then I'd laugh.
Sure.
Is this a very snide, passive-aggressive way of saying, hey, you try it on yourself? Like, I get the need to step in her shoes, maybe, and try it on. Sure, whatever. Maybe she can just say that.
Yeah.
Rather than surprising him.
Right.
Right. I think the surprise itself is what may have turned his attitude a little cold, rather than saying, "Hey, you want to try this out?"
Right.
Lightheartedly.
One commenter said, and I agree with this.
Okay.
This is a communication problem.
Oh, absolutely.
He is feeling shamed by her. She is feeling unheard by him. Time for lots of I statements. And I think that is what it boils down to. I get where she's coming from because thongs are extremely uncomfortable. And guys, typically, we're generalizing here, do tend to like them much more than a lot of full coverage underwear. I said I was generalizing. Calm down.
I'm just chilling. What? I'm just chilling.
But they're extremely uncomfortable, especially to wear all day. Like, it's not a comfortable thing.
Sure.
And so she felt that when she wore something that was full coverage, he wasn't as
aroused.
Right. He wasn't as aroused, wasn't
Sure.
as affectionate with her as
Right.
when she was wearing a thong, and it made her feel more pressured into wearing thongs that are admittedly uncomfortable so that she could receive that kind of attention, because it feels good to receive that kind of attention from your partner. I think everybody
Sure.
can admit to that. And so she thought that he was showing displeasure in some way by that lack of arousal.
Okay.
But she went about it in the wrong way, calling it a surprise and trying to do it as a gift.
That's the one thing that stood out to me. I'm like, if it was done a different way, I think he would have laughed.
Yeah.
I think he would have been okay with it. I mean, whatever. I think most, I'm not going to generalize here. I think most men would have been fine with laughing at that shit.
In my
personally.
experiences, most men would get offended and emotional about it. Yes,
like,
admittedly.
straight up. I mean, you can't take it. I mean, come on, you can take a joke.
You're
right?
not wrong.
But I think there goes Tulip with the cat food, our ferret. But I don't know. Like when we say affectionate, are we just talking strictly in the sexual context, or is it just like general like?
I think that you can.
So if you like, let's say if the girlfriend just never wore a thong, ever, would he just not like her at all? Like, I feel like there's some sort of difference here between sexual things and everyday things. I'm sure maybe he loves her.
Along those lines,
thong, but,
if she never wore a thong, is he the type of person who would tell her that he finds those type of underwear more attractive and she should?
Sure.
We don't have that kind of information. That's just kind of personal thinking here.
Sure. But just based on what we just kind of heard,
I think
the surprise was a little weird.
Yeah. To phrase it as a surprise to him was very misleading.
Is it my turn?
Sure.
All right. Now this isn't from the Am I the Asshole subreddit.
Okay.
This is from the marriage subreddit thread, which
Okay.
I think might be worse than the Am I the Asshole.
Sometimes, yeah.
Yeah, maybe. All right. So here's the thread. It's called "Wife Won't Let Me See My Dying Ex." Okay.
Okay.
I went no contact with my ex after we got married. I was recently contacted by my ex's sister because my ex has cancer that's terminal. She's in hospice. Her sister explained to me that one of my ex's wishes was to talk to me face to face for something important. They both insisted it had to be done in person. She wouldn't explain what it was because she said she didn't even know. I told my wife about this, and she told me absolutely not. I cannot visit her. I understand her feelings about this, but this person is quite literally dying. We have come to a decision, and I don't know what's the best thing to do. I'm asking here, and I want to know how other people feel about it.
I feel like OP's wife has some insecurity problems here.
Yeah?
If you are secure in your relationship, then what does it matter if your partner goes to see a dying ex-partner?
Right.
It's not like they're going to stick around and try and steal your partner.
Sure, I mean, they're dying.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
Terminal goddamn cancer.
It kind of makes me, like, how deep do your insecurities run if you're just like so against them visiting someone who is literally dying. Maybe that ex-partner has like regrets and has, something they want to get off their chest before they die. I guess like
Yeah.
Like
what's going through the wife's mind right now? Like he's gonna tap before she goes to the coffin. Like what's going on here? She's in hospice. She's dying.
Yeah,
she's in no condition.
See, that's what I'm saying.
To do a booty call right here. I'm just like, what the hell are you thinking? Like, why not just let him go see his ex?
What do you have to be so worried about?
But like, are you afraid of them rekindling their relationship in their dying moments?
Can't you compromise? Like, go with him. Doesn't mean you necessarily have to like be in the room when they have a private moment, but you could go with him.
Yeah,
and I feel like it would be the right thing to do as a partner, to be there for your partner when somebody that they have history with, were once close to, it is, their partner is going to experience a loss in their life, and that sucks no matter what the current relationship is.
Unless they're completely estranged or
sure
they hate each other. Sure, well, I guess on some
perhaps
human level.
But go with your partner. Be there for them during that situation.
Well, so this was actually a very divisive topic, and there were people actually siding with the wife here.
Okay.
I'm gonna read one of the responses, and this is on Twitter, by the way. Or X, formerly known as Twitter.
It's still Twitter.
This is a woman posting. Okay. I wouldn't tell him yes or no. He doesn't need my permission. But if he goes, I would leave also. Insane amount of disrespect. Indicates there is still a bond there between the two. If you can't understand this, you have no respect for the bond between a husband and his wife. Everyone disagreeing with me is implicitly condoning polyamory, and has no respect for the depths of the sanctity of the marriage bond. Weak and lame. No. No wonder you people don't find true love. You have no concept of it.
Tell me you're a conservative Christian without telling me you're a conservative Christian.
But there's more. If you feel so compelled to keep a bond with a woman you've been with, even when you're married, you've never moved on. The marriage was never real to begin with. And someone actually told her, hey, it's a dying woman. Come on now, lol.
Right.
And she said, plenty of people dying in the world.
God damn.
Well, what do you think about that one?
The way she just disregarded poly relationships as not being real. Like,
well, I mean, I get some perspective of that, right? In some ways, from her perspective as a traditional or conservative person, sure, why not? If you're really pivoting on or focusing on the nuclear family kind of thing.
I think that...
But I don't understand the whole reasoning of... Wait, this woman is dying, right?
Yeah.
What does him respecting her dying wishes have to do with anything? Unless the dying wishes is clap my booty cheeks. Which
I feel like it's really unlikely.
Exactly.
But, this commenter also was like, you can't respect the bonds between husband and wife. It's his ex-wife. They had a bond. They were married. So is that not to have any form of respect? When you share your life with a person, there is a closeness there.
Human, right?
Yeah.
You're going to have human emotions and human relations.
Then it doesn't mean that OP's is like still in love with this ex. She's dying and she asked to see him. Why is that so hard? That's just like, to me, that's just kindness that you should have as a human being. Somebody is dying and they just They want to see you and have a conversation with you. Now, unless this person was just an absolute garbage person and abused him and mistreated him and he cut her out for good reason, in that case, no, fuck them. It doesn't matter what their condition is. I don't have a need to talk to you, but
I'd still go.
That's just, I feel like you have a ulterior motive.
No, I don't have an ulterior motive.
You're like,
excuse me?
What? No, in this scenario, you just like would want to go to see what they have to say. Just like
I don't know. I think when people are close to death, they have moments of clarity and reflection.
Sure.
So I don't know if really, unless they did something horrendous, like really horrible, right? Mm-hmm. Just speaking for myself here, like let's say, they did physically abuse me or whatever, or just made my life hell for like a few years. I'd still be like, well, I mean, you're dying. Of course I'd be curious what they have to say. That's about it. But at the same time, I think it's a little cruel to be like, no, you're still a piece of shit. Maybe, again, it's like
maybe
the moments before death, or like the time before death tends to provide closure for a lot of people. So I don't know.
But I think like when we're talking about if somebody had done you wrong and was in that situation, asked to see you, it really comes down to the person, and
who needs
how
to forgive.
Deep that trauma goes.
No, that's why I said for myself.
Right, for yourself. No, I understand.
And of course, accepting the horrendous things. Sure.
Yeah. But I think that in the case of this post, what if this woman was the reason the marriage had ended and she just wants to apologize? What if they remained, like, what if the split was, amicable and things were fine, like and she friends. Just wants to, like, thank him for being a part of her life? Yeah. Like, it could be something so innocent.
So wholesome.
That she, in her last moments, like you were just saying, a lot of clarity tends to come, and acceptance and realization. Maybe she just has something she feels she needs to say to him before she dies. And OP's current wife is taking that away from a dying woman. This woman isn't like secretly writing love letters and said, "I'm dying, but I want you back." Just like for those last couple of days.
No, yeah, exactly.
Don't tell your wife.
I'm not laughing at the cancer. I'm just laughing at this ridiculous notion
the absurdity
that if I were in
the
situation of, okay, I have terminal brain or colon or whatever cancer, and my last, like, I would not even think, all right, time to write a mail out to all my previous exes and sexual relations and be like, hey, I'm dying of cancer. I need my booty cheeks clapped. Come to me. I'm in hospice. Don't tell your significant other you're coming here for this reason. It's just really weird.
It's weird.
Phones exist. I'm just gonna say a moment before I go to the bathroom real quick. But Milkman just said phones exist. They could talk on the phone. I think that's too bad, or not too bad. I think that's too like
impersonal.
On a lot of levels. Like I think if you really respect someone, especially on their deathbed, or if you really want to do important things, you at least talk face to face. Like, I think there's a reason why a lot of the cultures, or modern culture, whether you're in Asia or America or whatever, when you break up with someone, it's kind of distasteful to do it over a text rather than at least talk to them.
Yeah.
But also, when I think of that statement there, I'm like, well, then why should we care about the families who couldn't be with their loved ones during COVID when they were dying. I mean, they could just Zoom call, right?
Yeah.
I think that's fucked up because it's like, well, you want to be there in person. They're dying.
I would think so.
If by the same logic, I'm not saying you're saying it, but Magic, but I'm saying by that same logic, we could just tell the families who were grieving during COVID, hey, whatever, you get to see them during over Zoom call or whatever, rather than I think that's like a different kind of thing. But when we're talking about a dying person, I'm just like, I think you should go see them if you can.
Yeah.
Like provided you can do it reasonably financially. Like let's say they're on the other side of the world. Right, and you gotta buy a $2,000 plane ticket. Okay, well maybe that's like that might warrant
that case,
phone,
right?
But I think this sounded like he could just go
right
anytime.
Perhaps they're in the same town or just like one town over. And yes, phones exist and they could call, but this woman is dying. I don't think it's too hard to just.
Yeah.
Make that trip. And I feel like personally a good compromise is for the wife to go with him. Okay.
I think there's some other things in chat if you want to talk to me though.
Yeah. I was just looking through the AITAH subreddit. And you know, most of the Am I the Asshole threads are definitely about relationships. Oh, this one should be interesting. The reason for the need to see people in person could be told to them on the phone. Oh wait, hold on, I have a thingy. That way, if it's a bad ass, then the trip can be saved if dying person was bad person. Con people will lie about dying, get someone in person so they can convince them for whatever in the con's mind. Yeah, I could see that. Sure, there's definitely some terrible people out there that would lie about dying. But I would like to hope in this case that's not what's happening. This one is interesting, and this is from the AITAH subreddit.
What's the difference? Am I the asshole here?
You get a lot more not safe for work. You have a lot more freedom to use those words that have to be...
Water?
Oh, yeah.
Sorry.
No, you're fine. I was just trying to figure out what you were pointing at.
Yeah.
Like, you have a lot more freedom to use the actual words instead of censoring yourself.
Okay.
Okay, so this one is, am I the asshole for asking my husband to go stay somewhere else for a week right after I gave birth to our child? So, 28 female.
Wait, can you repeat that again?
Okay. Am I the asshole for asking my husband to go stay somewhere else for a week right after I gave birth to our child?
Okay.
28 female. I just gave birth to me and my husband's first and likely last child 4 days ago. I'm so emotionally exhausted, but not for the normal reasons, I don't think. My husband has been stressing me out since I went into labor. Please tell me if this is just hormones. I truly can't even think properly because I'm just so tired. Might be long. I'm sorry.
Okay.
So, I go into labor at 2 a.m. He takes his sweet-ass time driving me to the hospital an hour away. Even stops to grab himself a coffee. My water breaks 20 minutes from the hospital. I'm in excruciating pain and panicked because I'm still in the vehicle and I can tell that I'm so close to giving birth. I was having contractions lasting 33-ish seconds with exactly 1 minute between. He panics when my water breaks and pulls over and calls an ambulance. And we end up having to wait 10 minutes for them instead of him just driving me the rest of the way. As soon as I get in the hospital room, he starts losing it. He is sobbing, full hysterics, and being so loud about it.
Okay.
Keeps saying things like, I can't lose her, insinuating that I was going to die.
I mean...
Yes, it is always a risk when giving birth to a child that you will die.
Sure.
I deliver our daughter 22 minutes after arriving at the hospital. I eventually call my mother and ask her to come see me. She comes in with my siblings, 16-year-old twins, and within maybe 10 minutes, my husband is actually pissed off, saying he's stepping outside. Comes back in 40 minutes later. My mom and siblings leave. He then starts jumping down my neck about how disrespectful my mother is for even showing up when she knows that I need sleep. Then he's badgering me about eating something, despite me telling him several times I'm not hungry. So he gets irritated again, telling me repeatedly, you need to eat something, and getting more and more stern as he's speaking. Eventually, I gathered that he was hungry and he felt guilty eating when I hadn't, and instead of just saying that, he got an attitude. Then he fell asleep. Every single time he woke up, I was still awake. He got irritated again. You need to get some damn sleep. We get discharged the next day. So, since we have been home, he's stressing me out even more. If the baby spits up, he immediately saying, oh my God, we need to go to the hospital. He's been trying to force feed me, literally sits beside me trying to feed me when I quite literally cannot keep a lot down right now. And he knows that. But like yesterday, I fell asleep. I had the baby beside me in the bassinet. He wakes me up and says, babe, she's been screaming for like 10
what?
Babe, she's been screaming for like 10 minutes.
Okay.
And it makes me feel bad. But then again, he was in the room when I fell asleep. So where the fuck was he when she was screaming? He apparently went to take a nap on the couch. But he came home yesterday and I was taking a nap and he says under his breath, must be nice. Wish I could sleep. I told him at this point that I'm the one who's up all night breastfeeding the baby while he sleeps soundly. I do all nightly changes as well. I have the baby all day long. He works. Don't even start. He goes, no one asked me how I have been feeling since the baby was born. I told him I need him to leave for a week or something because this entire time he has been pushing me into a weird state of like, I don't fucking like you because of how invasive and demanding you are being, and I'm just really starting to dislike you at this point.
Okay.
Which he already knew, and he just kept pushing. He says I'm the asshole and that he's stressed too, and that he's just looking out for me by trying to force me to eat and whatever. I just need space. Am I the asshole? There's an edit here.
Okay.
I'm so sorry. I forgot one big thing. Yesterday he was on the phone with someone telling them my birth story and literally made it out like I was hysterical. Like mocked my screams to show how I was acting. And that really bothered me.
Okay.
And I told him that he said, you'll you'll really just find anything to be pissed off about right now, won't you? Or says that he doesn't want people around the baby, but welcomed his mom in not even 10 minutes later because she stopped by unannounced.
Okay, so
the original question is, am I the asshole for telling my husband he needs to leave for like a week?
even without any context, I'm just like, she's pregnant, or she was pregnant. She just gave birth. She's jacked the fuck up on hormones.
Mm-hmm.
Probably need to give her space. So yeah, okay, whatever. That's what she wants. That's what she wants.
Right, that was my thought.
Whatever.
Just with the title, and then after reading
But,
this,
you know,
throw the whole damn thing away. Throw the whole ass husband away.
Hold up. Let's
It's only gonna get worse from here.
Let's play some angel's advocate here for the husband. Okay.
All right.
Let's give him the benefit of the doubt. It sounds to me, at least from his initial reactions when he was, driving and then all that, maybe he was just stressed the fuck out as well. He was panicking.
I could definitely
This
see,
is
like,
first
for the
child,
drive.
first birth.
Yeah.
So it's like, I feel like, at first I was saying to myself, man, this guy's incompetent. But at the same time, I'm like, what if he just, like, he just got scrambled? Like,
Sure.
his mind just completely, like, gave out somehow.
I could
You know what I mean?
understand the panic on the drive.
Sure.
Absolutely.
But the stopping for the coffee thing was like, what is going on here? And then I realized something. You know, I've been saying this for years. And that's why I don't like watching people drink coffee every morning.
Uh-huh. An addiction.
That shit's a drug. By the way, position 1.
Okay.
Unlock me.
I didn't even do
Position
anything
1?
that time.
Position 1. Yeah. Sorry about the camera. It's a new cameraman.
Okay. Yes. Coffee is an addiction, but
But,
guess what?
Sure.
Hospitals have coffee.
Yeah, I get that. But
There was-
in his scrambled ass mind, he was probably searching for something familiar, maybe.
Perhaps
in the moments of panic.
Rosie, now is not the time. But there is no excuse to stopping.
Sure,
to get
yeah,
coffee.
absolutely.
He
No,
could stop to get coffee, but when her water broke, he panicked and pulled over. Like, they were 20 minutes from the hospital. Had to wait for an ambulance for 10 minutes. She could have been there already.
I know, I get that. I just don't know how other people would do.
I can understand him being frazzled and panic, but imagine how she felt. She is in a vehicle, and there is a human exiting her body, and there is no professional there to guide her through it on her first kid at that.
It also sounds like he really was worried about her, at least initially.
Right.
Because he was like, what if she dies? And it's true.
That's
She
always
could die.
That's always
there's
something.
always a possibility.
That is always a thing that everybody
It just
involved
sounds
should
like
be worried
he's a
about.
very panicky, easily stressed out, easily scrambled individual.
The panic, the frazzled in the beginning, all of that I can understand.
But then
it's everything that follows.
Again,
So she calls her mom, right? This girl, she's how old? She's 28, and this is her first kid.
sure.
She calls her mom.
Yeah,
Of course you call your mom.
People
Women who have a good relationship with their mom, of course they want their mom there when they have their first kid. But
Right.
she called her mom, and then he gets mad that her mom came. So that's like, what? And told her that she needed to rest, but then was like, are you hungry? You should eat. You need to eat. You haven't eaten. You should eat. Like, I thought you wanted her to rest. Do you want her to rest, or do you want her to eat? But, like, even that, I could see it as being concerned for her. But, like, she said, she realized that it wasn't because
he
he
just
wanted
felt
her to
guilty
eat.
for eating.
He wanted to eat. But he could have said that. Use your words. Use your words.
Well, he's just not very communicative.
But my biggest problem, she took a nap.
Mm-hmm.
The baby next to her, he woke her up because the baby was crying for 10 minutes. He came into the room next to the baby and woke her up and been like, hey, the baby is crying.
Okay, but
you hear that? You take care of it.
It's his first kid.
That does not matter.
Does he have a do people have a manual? Oh, hold on, unlock me. Unlock me right now, cameraman. Unlock me. Unlock me. Unlock me. Position 1. All right. Anyway, it's not like he was given the manual on how to.
Neither was she.
But she called her mom.
She just gave birth. She needed a nap. If the baby is crying, you don't wake up mom to deal with it. You pick up the baby, check the diaper. If you're doing formula feeding or you've got breast milk already packaged for bottles, give the baby a bottle. Do some rocking. Like, it is not rocket science. There are 2 major things to check for. The first thing is the diaper. If the diaper is good, then you move on to food.
Okay.
If they don't want to take the food, then you hold them and you do a little bit of rocking and a little bit of patting. It is not rocket science. Even a first-time dad can do it. You can step up to the plate and do it so that this woman who just pushed a human out of her body can get some rest.
Again, it just sounds like he's very panicky.
That was not panic. That was the baby's crying and I don't want to deal with it.
He went to his wife. Okay. Well, I mean, sure.
He sleeps through the night. She gets up and feeds. She changes diapers. So she took a nap around the time that he came home, and he got mad because she got to have a nap.
Sure.
She didn't sleep all night. He slept all night.
But at the end of the day,
I don't think that she's the asshole here.
I don't think she's the asshole here either. I just think, again, I would like to see an update after the hormones and all that settle down. And
sure.
And yeah, I would like to see an update on that, honestly. We got some comments, by the way. Right here.
Rosie.
Cynic said, if I had stopped for coffee, his wife would have kicked him out of the car.
Oh, absolutely.
That's again, I'm
no
trying
doubt.
to find a rationale for that, and then the only rationale I can find in this guy's mind would have been he's looking for something. He's panicking, probably. He's looking for something familiar, and he just thinks coffee. I don't know. You know what I mean?
I like this comment. I hate to agree with Reddit for the normal throw him away, but girl, he's literally a piece of shit. He started mocking you, was yelling at you, is forcing you to do things you don't want, and then blamed you for being over dramatic.
Unlock me.
Do you really want that as the father of your children? A man who has an episode over a fucking diabetes needle.
Unlock me. Position 1.
Rosie is the star.
Rosie's triggering the movement.
No, that was exactly my first thought. Throw him away. Throw the whole ass husband away.
Okay. Fair.
Because it's only going to get worse.
Okay.
Unless he can actually see what he is doing as wrong. Which, from what she has said, he doesn't seem to think he's wrong. He's mocking her.
Or reenacting, and she took it as mocking.
He was mocking her.
Personally, I wouldn't reenact it. I would just account my experience of it. That's really it. Like what I was feeling, what I was seeing.
Sure.
And if I was there for the childbirth, I'd be like, I didn't realize you could do that. You know what I mean? Sure. Not like she was like this. You know what I mean? Okay, but my turn, I suppose, right?
Yeah.
All right, this is actually from that same subreddit that you mentioned. Am I the asshole here? Okay. Will I be the asshole for divorcing my wife because she couldn't handle me crying in front of her? Alright, advice needed. I am a 28 male, and my wife, 29 female, recently visited Cambodia. Oh, okay. I booked a trip for our 4th wedding anniversary. On our last day there, we decided to visit a genocide prison in Phnom Penh called S21. Okay. We were warned by our tour guide that the place wasn't for the faint of heart. The prison was used by the Khmer Rouge to massacre thousands of innocent civilians who were deemed as too smart or intellectual during the rule of Pol Pot. I remember seeing torture chambers where they would beat people to death with chains. They didn't hide any of the brutality. The pictures on the walls literally looked like something straight out of a live leak. In one of the prison cells there was literally dried up blood on the floor from presumably the captive held there all those years ago. I remember walking past a tree dubbed the Killing Tree. They took kids as young as 3 years old and would bash their heads into it until they died. Upon reading that, I just started sobbing. I was visualizing everything in my head, and I just felt for the kids who had to watch their siblings and friends get massacred in front of them.
Mm-hmm. My
wife saw me crying and instead of comforting me, just gave me this weird look. After a while, she did come hug me and asked if something was wrong. I just pointed to the exit and we left after that. I just couldn't take it anymore. While in our taxi, she asked me if I was seriously crying. I just nodded and kept quiet. I was still pretty shaken up by the things I just read or saw. Oh, there's more.
Okay.
That was last week, and there has been this weird tension between us ever since. She tries to pick fights with me for no reason, and just seems dismissive and disrespectful for no reason. A few days ago, I came home exhausted from work, and she asked me if I could do the laundry that day. I told her that I'd do it tomorrow, and just wanted to relax for a bit. She then got mad and told me that she didn't know she was marrying a woman, and then stormed off. She has never acted like this before our trip. I lost it yesterday night after she tried to pick another fight with me and confronted her about her behavior over the past week. I asked her if all of this had to do with me crying. She tried denying it at first, but after a while she just went silent for a few moments, and then started nodding while keeping her head down. I asked her why, and she just claimed that humanity has done worse in the past, and she just feels weird about me crying over kids who have nothing to do with me. She also told me that she isn't a therapist and she felt uncomfortable and was disappointed in me for shedding tears over something that happens all the time. She saw me getting mad at her comments and tried backpedaling and apologizing, but I just couldn't take it anymore and just went to bed in our guest room. This was literally the second time she has ever seen me cry. First was when my best friend lost his life to a drunk driver.
Throw the whole wife away. No, see, you and I have talked about this before. I hate how it has become so unacceptable for men specifically to have emotions. I hate it. That should not be a thing. What they toured is extremely emotional, and soft-hearted people are going to feel that so deeply. Let the man cry because it's fucking sad. What happened to those people, to any people in terrible times like that throughout history, it is sad. It's sad enough when you read about it or you hear about it, but then to walk through and see where this happened, that's heartbreaking to witness. So yeah, he got emotional because it is an emotional place and it's an emotional thing that happened in history. And for that wife to be like, are you kidding me? Are you crying? Really? Yeah, he's crying because it's fucking sad. Let him feel his feelings. Shame on her. Shame on her for shaming him for having emotions. And for saying she didn't realize she married a woman? That's fucked up.
Yeah. So, let me know when you're finished, by the way, because I have a lot.
I'm done. I'm sorry.
Oh, you're done?
It bothers me so much.
I have like 3 layers of thoughts.
Okay.
About 3 types of layers of thought about this. One, because this is my field, is history.
Yeah, of course.
Second is personal, because I've actually been there.
Okay.
And been to other sites of the Khmer Rouge atrocities. And third, of course, comedy or
Of
tragic
course.
comedy.
Tragic comedy.
Okay, so let me just tackle this on, okay? He booked their 4th anniversary trip to Phnom Penh. And I'm just thinking to myself, like, why would you book your motherfucking wedding anniversary trip to a site of human war crimes? Or not even war crimes, sorry, crimes against humanity. Mm-hmm. That's like the tragic comedy aspect of me. I'm like, why?
Okay, but
why?
We don't know anything about them as people.
Sure.
Maybe
are they
they're
both history buffs, or
maybe they're huge history
but at the
buffs.
same
Maybe
time,
they're historians.
I still would not go there as a romantic getaway.
All right,
for a
fair.
fucking anniversary trip. Come on, like again, I've been there and I've been to the other sites.
Sure.
It's fucking crazy. So a lot of things he's describing here, they do showcase a lot of it. They're they have very graphic illustrations and photos and displays. Mm-hmm. There's literal displays of hundreds, not maybe thousands, of skulls. And you can see each skull is like the extent of like what kind of damage it was to the skull. And there's graphic illustrations of the Khmer Rouge soldiers bayoneting for fun babies. These are not, and this does not happen very long ago. Mm-hmm. So when she said, oh, people have done worse in the past, yeah, sure, maybe. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But this is relatively close to us in terms of the human historical timeline. Mm-hmm. And also, it's kind of hard to find something worse than a lot of things you can learn about there. It was incredibly brutal. And I know some people have said, at least in the media industry, at least over in Asia, that they will not make films covering what happened because it'd be too graphic and it wouldn't pass a lot of the regional censors. That's how bad it was. And again, I just don't know why he would take her there. So yeah,
maybe
I'm
they
like,
both wanted to go there. Maybe it was like a bucket list item,
Cambodia is not exactly somewhere I would recommend as a lighthearted trip.
Sure.
You have to be prepared for facing poverty. Mm-hmm. Like looking poverty directly in the eyes. To look at, there's some fun things you can do, sure, maybe.
Sure.
But man, it's terrible. Especially those sites and museums or the older prisons. Mm-hmm. It really jars you when you go.
I get you.
So I completely understand why he cried. I think that's a completely acceptable, more than I shouldn't even say acceptable. That's fine.
Yeah.
It's whatever. I would be more surprised if people who go there did not cry or were not a little shocked or silent.
Right. Like what about the wife? What was her? Was she not emotional during this?
It doesn't seem like it. It doesn't
For
sound like it.
For her to like have that reaction
people
about
have done
her
worse
husband.
in the past. She didn't cry. She didn't do anything. I'm like, okay, well, sure. I think there are people who are apathetic enough to say, yeah, whatever. This happened a long time ago. It doesn't affect me. Mm-hmm. I get that too. Maybe it's also for some of those people a defense mechanism. Some people laugh. I laugh when it's like some terrible shit happening. But even me, when I went, I'm like, I did not laugh. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
It's that bad. It was that bad. I don't know if anyone really knows much about it listening into this podcast about what the Khmer Rouge did under Pol Pot. But you should look it up. It's messed up.
Yeah.
But, and she, that comment about, I didn't realize I married a woman. I laughed at that because I'm like, you're calling yourself weak? Because in her perspective, crying is weakness. And to cry is to also be a woman.
I always hate that.
And it's like,
I hate
so why should he respect you? You're a lesser being if you're a woman. You should. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
I don't,
yeah.
I
Where
don't
is her
understand
logic?
what is the
in this?
logic in this.
Yeah.
That's my kind of perspective on what she said, and like this part, she just feels weird about me crying over kids who have nothing to do with me. That's
She's just like
that's so like
a walking red flag.
I mean,
throw the whole wife away.
That's the tragic comedy aspect of this.
Sure.
That people really do think like her.
Yeah.
And that's really why there's probably a lot of people. That's probably why a lot of things get carried out, or people get away with so many things.
Yeah. No,
These
I
people
agree.
don't care. It is what it is, unfortunately. For now, right?
Yeah.
So yeah. And again, if this was a second time, if this guy's second time was crying at a genocide, not even witnessing a genocide, but just seeing the remnants of it, and his first time crying was his best friend died, the drunk driver, and she can't. You know what I mean?
Can't
It's
handle
just,
that?
She can't handle this. Really?
Like I'd be those are two legit reasons to cry.
Yeah, I mean,
Like-
I would be interested to see what she would cry about, or is she just very stoic and just does not give a shit and just does not cry? Okay. But it sounds like he's ready to divorce her.
I don't blame him. Throw the whole wife away.
Okay. All right, your turn.
CNX says, honestly, I find this whole post hilarious.
Hey honey, how's this for celebrating our relationship? A graphic tour of mass murder and genocide. Yeah, again, that's like the first thing that stuck out to me, especially as someone who went there. I would not take. Okay, let me just be straightforward here. I wouldn't take you there for our wedding anniversary honeymoon. Why?
It's probably a good thing.
Unlock me. Position 1. Thank you.
I am a very emotional person. I don't think I could handle that, especially on what's supposed to be a celebratory trip.
The example I gave about what they did, that's just not even like what
Right.
the worst things they did. They did. I will never be so impressed and stunned and terrified by human creativity when it comes to killing or hurting people. I think I just, there are some things during the crimes against humanity carried out by Pol Pot and the Khmer Rouge that were done. I don't know if anyone's done it since, or some of them anyway. Pretty violent. All right, but yeah, I'll just chill. Yeah, someone PK2 says, "Hey babe, let's go see the 9/11 memorial for our anniversary." I think that's okay.
I've actually, I
don't-
have seen it, and it is emotional.
Okay, well, hold on. Like, sorry, go on, please.
Well, I saw it when it was like they were still under construction of building the fountain, and they just had like all the names on the wall, and it was an emotional thing because that is something that we lived through in
Right.
our lifetime. But even that, while granted not near the extent of what this post is about, it still is emotional, and I don't know if it's something you really would plan for a celebratory trip.
So let me explain this to that PK2 commented that I can kind of see maybe visiting that memorial while you're maybe vacationing or like just kind of going there for a trip with your partner in New York City, right? Because it's in New York City. It's in right. But with what was mentioned, S21 or the sites in the museums or the displays of what happened under Pol Pot, you have to go out of your way a little bit. It's not just in the middle of Phnom Penh, like, everything that happened. There's the killing fields are, well, in out there in the fields. there's still some active minefields too. You have to kind of go out of your way to visit these kinds of sites. A lot of them anyway. So that's the thing, right? If they gone to Phnom Penh or Cambodia or Angkor, whatever, in Cambodia, right? And like saw the usual tourist sites or the temple sites that most people go there for. And that is fine. I don't think there's anything inherently wrong with going to Southeast Asia or going to Cambodia or Laos or Vietnam, right? But I think there's something like really weird about going specifically to those sites in Cambodia, like directly. It's just so, yeah.
No, I see what you're getting
it's
at.
more extreme. It's more extreme than 9/11 memories.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. You have one?
Okay. So this one's pretty short. Am I the asshole here for correcting my female coworker's point of view about cheating?
Okay.
Lunch break. A group of my female friends were discussing micro-cheating, which was basically if he hearts a girl's picture or comments cute on her social media page, then he is cheating.
Come on.
They seemed to agree that view and went on and on about that topic. I, male, 28, chimed in and told them if they want a man's perspective, or asked them if they want a man's perspective. They nodded. I told them that a man's loyalty is different from a dog's loyalty.
Yo, get their ass.
A man will see another beautiful lady and think to himself, I'd tap that, but I won't because I have respect for my girl. And not, I have a girlfriend now, so no one else is attractive to me anymore.
Okay.
One of the ladies joked, say you're a cheater without saying you're a cheater. And then they started laughing. They explained that what I just said is cheating in the mind is... Wait. That what I just said is cheating in the mind, and it is still unacceptable. One thing led to another. One said that I had a boy's mind and not a man's mind. I sensed the hostility and backed off, but still felt weird, so I want to write it down.
Okay. Wow, this is a very interesting thing here. I think there's a... Oh, sorry, go on.
I just want to say that emotional cheating is a thing.
You're going to have to define that for us.
I don't know if this is considered emotional cheating. I don't think it necessarily falls under that umbrella.
You're going to have to define your definition for us of emotional cheating. Because I think these same girls would also say, a woman would also say that your definition applies to what they're talking about in terms of liking girls' pictures or telling them they're cute. Okay, here's the thing. I don't think complimenting is cheating or micro cheating, whatever that is.
Yeah, I didn't even know what that was. I've never heard of
Come
micro
on.
cheating before.
Like, come on, really? And I think I'm a real here. I think part of the reason why so many men give each other borderline homosexual comments when they're not homosexual, maybe, are because they can't give compliments to women in a societal setting, if that makes sense. Does that make sense? And also, you know what I mean?
I think so.
Like, hey, you look real cute today. If I said that to a guy, what would you think? You'd be like, oh, this is his friend. Or they're just playing around. If I said that shit to a woman, what would you think? Exactly. Exactly. That's what I'm saying.
Okay, but I have issues. I already know this.
But I don't think that's my point. I think it should be fine for a guy, even if he has a girlfriend or boyfriend, to compliment a woman or man. I don't think there's any harm in it at all. I think it actually is great. I think it would help that person feel better. Maybe they're having a shitty day or some shit. I don't know. Whatever. But the cheating to me happens when you literally, physically do it. And now this is where you come in with saying, nah, there's emotional
cheating is a thing.
What is that to you?
It is where you start building and communicating your feelings and affections, even if you're not physically acting on them. So if you are in a relationship and you start like texting or having phone calls with another person and you're flirting a lot and you're talking to each other like you're in a relationship, but you're in a relationship with somebody else, you're emotionally cheating. You don't have to be physical with another person to cheat with that person.
How do you define flirting? Like, give me an example sentence or something, or exchange here. Like, is it flirting or is it sexting? Because I think those are two different things.
I think flirting can most of the time lead to sexting.
Sure, exactly. But what is
flirting?
It's
not necessarily the same thing, no. But I think it starts with things like compliments. If there's not a clear line, I think that is what makes the difference. Commenting on somebody's picture of of a different gender and be like, yeah, you look real cute today, and then moving on about your business. Maybe they like your comment, it makes them feel good, it boosts their day, and that's that. But if, say, you leave that comment and so they DM you and they're like, oh, thanks, I really appreciate your comment, and you're like, yeah, no problem, you deserve it, you look really great, and they're like, yeah, I don't feel like I hear that enough. And so like they encourage you to keep complimenting, and you continue to keep complimenting, and it grows into flirting, and they compliment you back. You start sending photos to one another, and it grows and grows and becomes more of an emotional, affectionate interaction. That's when you like are walking into emotional cheating.
I see. But shouldn't both people, or at least one person in that setting, communicate that, hey, here's my boundary?
Sure, of course you should, but it doesn't always happen.
I get that, but I don't think just because a lot of people do that, or some people don't do that, doesn't mean in a societal setting it should be like frowned upon to compliment a woman if you're a man, or compliment a man if you're a woman in a relationship.
It is definitely.
I think it's tricky because it's down to the individual. But I mean, by that logic, we should just not drive. What, right?
I think that a lot of women are uncomfortable with this because a lot of men show those women that they can't be trusted to just give a compliment or receive a compliment.
I'm going to get crucified, but not all men. Yeah, I know.
But, I mean, when you experience the same things over and over again with different partners throughout time, you build up trust issues, whether you want to or not.
Again, it's just a matter of, right, like knowing the right people.
Sure. And I think it also takes being secure in your relationship and being secure in yourself and communication.
Yeah.
Like,
communication.
If I think communication. It always boils down to communication, which not enough people have healthy communications within their relationship.
That Key and Peele thing with consequences.
Consequences.
It's communication.
I think it does boil down to communication. If you were to comment on, let's say, one of your friend's Instagram post that she looked cute, I'm going to come to you and be like, hey, I saw this comment. And you're like, yeah, I wanted to compliment her. She looks nice. And if I feel some type of way about it, I'm going to be like, hey, I feel this kind of way. Can we discuss it?
Becca, come on. I moved from motherfucking Philadelphia to this hellhole where there's power outages And I am so fucking busy. I don't got time for this. Like that Uber driver told me, I don't got time to cheat, man. I'm fucking exhausted. That's communication.
Yeah, it's
Whatever.
communication, and it's actually listening to your partner
Right.
and their concerns and not dismissing her.
Oh, are you? Why are you glaring at me like I dismiss you?
Because that was such a dismissive comment.
What was this?
I moved all the way to this hellhole from Philadelphia.
You know, there's something wrong around here when Philadelphia is
know,
not the hellhole in that context.
Behind those words was, why are you being crazy?
No, behind those words is, let's think about this logically and rationally. Cast out all emotion here for a second.
But emotions are not always logical and rational.
That's exactly. So let's.
But that's
cast
why
them
you
out for
should
a
communicate
second.
with your partner.
Let's not invalidate them. Just for a second, for a moment, just remove from the equation, not permanently, and just think about it logically. And if the logic doesn't work out, then put the emotion back in. Easy.
I think my biggest problem with OP's post here is the way that he worded this about man's loyalty. Not comparing it to a dog. That doesn't, I mean, that's whatever.
I have issues with that.
Okay, but he said a man will see another beautiful lady and think to himself, I'd tap that.
Yeah.
But I won't because I respect my girl.
Okay.
I feel like that's not the same thing as seeing a friend who posted a picture, looks nice for the day. You want to, comment, hey, looking cute, and just giving an innocent compliment. I think even if it is true, maybe that's not something you need to be telling a group of women who are talking about micro-cheating.
This guy was letting loose all the man secrets. And I'm just seeing myself, yo, come chill out. Don't leak that shit.
There's some things that you should not reveal.
I'm just kidding. But, okay, here's the thing about that. I get that, too. Because, again, this is a very interesting thing. It's a matter of kind of like, I don't know. I don't want to say culture, but I think it's cultures mixed with societal expectations of gender roles here.
Okay.
But when he said that, I'm like, I kind of get it, because he's saying that to say, look how much of a temptation this is, right? But I won't do it, to demonstrate the loyalty to his partner. Let's be real here. Women in relationships also say, I have celebrity crushes. Wait, what is that then?
What he's saying is you should be grateful I'm not cheating on you because this woman is hotter.
No.
That is exactly how you just phrased that.
No. That's not
Look at how much restraint I have. Look at how good I'm being. This is exactly how you said it.
No.
That's not.
He is saying that.
I am not going to praise a man for not going out and sleeping with somebody hotter than me. Absolutely not.
This is where the communications are breaking down. I did not say any of that. I said he's saying. I'm saying I understand where he's coming from when he's saying, "Here's something I could do. Here's something that's tempting, but out of loyalty, I will not do it." In the same reasoning that I could do this the easy way, or I could betray this guy, but I won't do it because I'm his best friend or whatever. It's the same kind of reasoning. Now, obviously, to you, it's not like that, because here
you're making it sound like men should be praised.
No, I'm not saying they should be praised.
For seeing an attractive woman and not crossing that line because they're in a relationship.
I'm trying to give you the male perspective here. It's not a matter of degrading you or whatever. They're just saying this is a thing that happens in life. Being tempted to cheat, being tempted to steal, whatever. But I won't do it because I'm loyal to you. That's basically what they're saying. To me. From my perspective here. Not saying they should be praised for it. I'm just saying that's what's going on potentially in this rationale here. That's it. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying.
Okay.
Now, should he have said that to the woman? No, because
Definitely not.
because they'll take it the wrong way. Because they don't think like that.
True.
They don't think like that.
I feel like his other example is too extreme.
Well, what's the other example?
I have a girlfriend now, so no one else is attractive to me anymore. I think that's...
But those women were also talking about micro-cheating.
Right.
And what they view as micro-cheating, at least from what he said, was just these little things that aren't really a big deal to the typical heterosexual male's perspective. Mm-hmm. Right? Because he's kind of... It's almost strawmanning it, but strawmanning up their argument as like, oh, so you shouldn't find anyone else attractive. I understand that's wrong. But he also has a valid point when they're trying to present liking their Instagram pictures, whatever, as micro-cheating. That's kind of ridiculous.
Yeah.
It's the same kind of line of reasoning here. Right? I get that.
Sure.
I mean, again, that's why I brought up celebrity crushes. You have celebrity crushes.
Sure.
Male.
Yes, I do. And females.
Are we in a relationship? Yeah, okay. Sure, you're bi. But are we in a relationship?
Yeah.
Should you have celebrity crushes? Come on.
It's not
a matter of should. That's a trick question. I'm fucking okay with it. I don't give a fuck.
But it's not like somebody that I know in person that I'm going out of my way to like get to know more or anything like that. It's not that kind of crush. It's not a crush that I developed at the office or anything.
Exactly, but
it's
but
literally just
can
like
you not find your colleagues attractive physically?
No.
No?
No.
Okay, can you find classmates or colleagues or like...
Oh, you mean just like in general or like have I?
No,
I mean,
general,
sure.
objectively.
Yeah, sure.
Can you find them attractive? Or can you say, oh, you're handsome?
Sure.
Oh, you're beautiful.
Yes, of course.
But you're in a relationship with me. But these people's same guidelines, that'd be micro-cheating.
Yes.
Which is, again, I think his point here. That's why he offered his extreme example.
I just think specifically the whole... I'd tap that, but I won't. Like that was something you should have kept to yourself.
I agree.
Isn't that written in your secret bro code somewhere?
No. I was just trying to offer a potential rationale for it, because I kind of understand why he was saying that potentially to these women. I think he was trying to prove to them that men are like not pigs or whatever. Mm-hmm.
Anna!
I hate these horny men. Get actual hobbies. Oh my god. You know, horniness, Anna, has been a motivator of many things. A couple sciences.
See, arts. I see what Anna's saying here. But why is it even tempting? Why isn't what you have enough? And I think a lot of women feel that way, especially when it's phrased the way that OP had put it.
Okay, I haven't answered this already.
A lot of women feel like, why am I not good enough? Why do you feel that the grass is greener on the other side? But you're being loyal, so you're not going to act on it? Hello, ma'am. Well, that's a very common feeling.
That's just a matter of human nature, though. Mm-hmm. I think almost everyone at every level in society... whether we're talking about financial or social or whatever context, always craves more on some level in their mind, right? Like,
sure. You're gonna fall.
And that's why a lot of philosophies and schools of thought try to address in some form or another, whether we're talking about Confucianism or even Buddhism, like how do you gripe with these internal struggles in relation to what's going on externally around you. Right. So I get that thought from the woman perspective. Like, am I not enough? Yeah, of course you're enough. But they're human, unfortunately. So they want more on some level.
Don't be human.
And there's a parrot.
It's past ferret bedtime.
Yes, it's past the ferret's bedtime. But I get that. That's completely valid. It's completely valid feeling. I'm also curious too, though. I'm sure women on the other side too also crave something more than what they already have.
Sure,
Relationship-wise,
in some cases.
physical-wise, or I mean, there's probably a lot of things.
Sure, it happens to women too.
Sure, and it's a human thing.
But I think, like, if you get to the point where you're feeling like your relationship is not fulfilling for you, the relationship is done.
Then you should talk about it.
Sure, if you can't come to a resolution, then it's done. Stop wondering if the grass is greener on the other side.
It all goes back
to go find out for yourself.
It all goes back to communication.
Yes.
That's basically it. Yes, it does. I feel like communication would solve most things.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
Or prevent things from getting out of hand. Is it my turn?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Billy.
Man, Anna missed out on a lot of fucked up things.
It'll be in the VODs.
Let's see. Okay.
Anna should have been asleep.
we're gonna
so should Becca.
We're gonna take a quick detour here from subreddits and go directly to X, formerly known as Twitter.
Okay.
All right, I think I showed you this one. I would like to hear more thoughts on it. Heartbreak for men is like physical rape for women. A man with a broken heart is the same as a woman who was raped. He doesn't want to speak of anything else. He remembers it decades later. Complete dissociation and spiritual death.
I do remember you showing me this. And I hate it so much.
Okay, give me your thoughts. While you gather your thoughts, let me give my thoughts on this. Mm-hmm. I think that's so fucking dumb.
What about sums it up?
Okay, heartbreak. Okay, how do you equate heartbreak? Okay, emotional, I guess, on some sense, loss to physical rape or sexual assault. I can't find any logic in this.
I can't
As
either.
a man, I'm like, I think I would take the heartbreak over being raped. Like, straight up. What are you on about? Mm-hmm. What are your thoughts?
This man's a fucking idiot. Like, straight up. I will always choose the bear.
Oh, man.
Like, as somebody who has been through my fair share of heartbreaks and who has been sexually assaulted in my life, I would choose the heartbreak every time because it's not remotely the same thing. It's not even close. And for anybody to say that it's the same thing is a fucking lunatic. Just no. No. Throw the whole man away. It is the most absurd, uneducated, and insensitive comment to make.
Yeah, I don't know what they were cooking with this one.
Fucking men.
They should not cook anymore after this one.
Throw the whole man away. The whole thing.
All right. Do you have something? Or
Done.
Do you want me to bring up something else?
Sure, if you got something else, and I will scroll. This dude is stupid. It's never been great. Yeah, exactly. No heartbreak is the same for both sexes. Only the other can be the same for both in trauma responses.
Okay. So this is also something to do basically with Twitter. I don't know if anyone outside of Twitter really followed this. Maybe some did on TikTok or Twitch. But to kind of give the context of what I'm going to talk about here, it's a content creator, like streamer. Their name is Taylor Morgan, and she was in this Valorant match. You know what Valorant is, right? It's like Riot Games' take on Counter-Strike.
Yeah.
And of course, she was like, she's talking voice chat, and you as a woman, you've experienced what happens in voice chat,
Yes.
right?
It's so pleasant.
When you say something as a woman in your more feminine voice,
Yes.
or even men with feminine voices get ragged on.
Yeah, I've seen that too.
Or Call of Duty, whatever. But you've seen this?
Not this
Okay.
particular one.
And she was already getting harassed, so she muted them, and she unmuted them because, as she said on the stream, she's going to get this for content. Mm-hmm. But kind of like how a lot of streamers, including myself, just read a specific comment, or when I interact with a piece of shit, I make that a piece of content.
Yeah.
Which is like no big deal. But a lot
Sure.
of people like rag around as, well, you should have just kept it muted. But, he says a lot of nasty shit, of course, and like basically threatens like to rape her during the match, during the game. So of course she leaves the game, and
Of course.
she posts this clip. And a lot of people responded to this. A lot of streamers, a lot of gamers, a lot of content creators, a lot of people were like, this is fucked up. Mm-hmm. But then there were a lot of other people saying things like, here's some posts. Women are not gamers. This tweet proves that. Maybe you should just stop playing if you don't like what real gamers are like. And then, stick to Farmville. Have you tried walking away from the computer? If the mean words are too much, just turn it off. Duh. Maybe try cooking or sewing. Next one. Just mute and report and play the game. Next report. Or next post. Women are too emotional to game online. Proof. Next post. If you can't stand the heat, get out of the kitchen. Stop invading men's spaces. Next post. Let's see. Literally making drama over typical trash talk between players and teammates. Another post says, first time playing an online game or something. So, I would like to hear your thoughts about this. As you yourself, you're a woman. You also game a lot outside of Farmville.
I haven't played Farmville in like 13 years. Thank you. All of these comments.
Oh, there's a lot more like these, but
No.
a common theme here that keeps popping up, though. The most common theme in these posts is these are men's spaces. Like, don't expect to be catered to if you're a woman when you're entering men's spaces. Don't try to change how we behave.
Are delusional.
Okay.
Because expecting somebody to not say that they're going to rape you is not being catered to. That's not asking to be catered to. Not wanting to hear people threatening you. That's like saying the nut jobs that send death threats to streamers and content creators are asking to be catered to by not wanting to receive those. Mm-hmm. These people, these fucking men, goddamn. I hate men. Fucking men.
Okay.
This is ridiculous to think that women aren't gamers, shouldn't game, can't game. Says who? Why?
Because they look at this streamer posting this clip and tagging the Riot support, the developers, saying, hey, this is unacceptable. You got to do something about this player.
It is unacceptable.
Or do something to make sure it doesn't happen again, saying you're soft. You don't belong in this space.
That's
you're
not
a gamer.
being soft. Because I know the way that men in games like that talk to women.
Sure.
That's not being soft. It doesn't. Trash talk is one thing. Fine.
Yeah.
Whatever. But they specifically say disgusting things to women just because it's a woman.
Well, okay, yes, you're right, but you also have the same. This is a very interesting thing to me because there's so many ways we can look at a lot of this. First, I kind of want to tackle the point of women are not gamers. Well, I think the recent reports suggest it's like a little over 50% of gamers across the board, particularly mobile gaming, and also I think it was console gaming, are like women, or like 47%, something like that. Mm-hmm. That's a lot. But also going back in the history of game development, or even looking at game projects today, mm-hmm. a lot of, whether we're talking about AAA studios or in the indie game developers, a lot of them are women going back to like the 80s.
You know, if so they feel that this is a men's space,
right? It's made
why
by
the fuck
women
are they playing
part.
Games that are made by women?
Right, it's made by women in part.
If there is a woman on the creation team, you shouldn't be playing it if that's your view.
In Valorant, I mean, I could probably hit up their developer page and see how many women are on the team.
Right.
And there's probably quite a handful on the development team. So that kind of stuck out to me, and I was like, well, I don't know about that. But again, the prevalent theme here is men's spaces. And I think to myself, it's a little weird to me that men rightfully demand more attention for mental health issues and so forth, or specifically for men, men's issues, more male issues. But in these same spaces, that could be used for positive empowerment of those issues, or solutions to those issues. I mean, gaming is a very strong medium for tackling on a lot of things. They also don't want to create a space for tackling those issues. It's kind of interesting.
They're hypocrites, is what it boils down to.
Yeah, but then when we talk about trash talking, right? I can understand why they think it's trash talking, on some level. No, I'm not siding with them. I've played with black friends. Okay. And just because they sound black or I sound black, you know, they throw the usual slurs. Other people purposely should do that shit. Mm-hmm. Same thing whether you're Asian, woman. I kind of get worried why they're saying trash talk, because no matter what you are, no matter what gender you are, whatever, you're gonna get trashed on.
Sure.
And some people brought up the whole rape thing. This is not trash talk.
No, it's not. It's
not.
Threats. Like, it is straight up threatening someone.
Here's the thing. And I've witnessed this. Mm-hmm. Sometimes the trash talking goes so far that they basically, like, men threaten to rape men.
Still not trash talk. That's threatening.
Well, okay. Here's the thing, right? Like, how do you differentiate that? When no, hold on. If a man threatens to rape a man,
you don't.
Exactly.
You don't threaten to rape anybody of any gender.
What about violent threats? Because that happens a lot too between men.
Also, threats
in voice chats.
Threats and trash talk are not the same thing.
The thing is, for a lot of these people, unfortunately, that's the norm, and that's why they're looking at it as trash talk. And that's what I'm saying here. That's why I understand on some level. Yeah, I understand why they're saying this.
If they think it's okay, they're part of the problem.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying here. Because, again, to me, it's a little weird that men like myself.
Unlock me.
Position 1. Sorry. It's just a little weird to me that men would say, I need help, while at the same time making their own spaces a bit hostile to everybody.
But it's not their space.
Sure. That's what I'm trying to get at here. I'm looking at it from their perspective, or attempting to. Mm-hmm. Unless it's not the same men. Or they view trash talking as a venue for venting. Which, again, I don't know if that's like the healthiest thing.
I don't think that's healthy.
Oh, like,
I don't.
I'm sure, like, between friends. But between strangers, I think lighthearted trash talking or teabagging and Halo or whatever, that's fucking whatever.
Sure.
But when you're threatening to rape people or threatening to hunt them down in real life,
That's just being a fucked up person.
That's just, I think, overstepping the boundary between
by a
trash
long
talk
shot.
and trying to like hurt someone.
But unfortunately, this is not new to women in online gaming.
No, it's not.
It is extremely common. And that is a problem. And for all of these people to be okay with it in saying that women are too soft to play games and women should be catered to, or women think they should be catered to, that is a problem. Nobody's asking to be catered to.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody is being too soft by not wanting men to threaten them. I will always choose the bear.
Well, I'm going to speak from my personal perspective now, instead of trying to look at it from other people's perspective. I feel like there's this weird nostalgia or attachment on part of the people who are saying this is men's space or this is just how it is. Mm-hmm. They just have this kind of like attitude that just because it is the way it was or it is the way it is right now means it'll never change. I find that a little sad. Like, you really don't think collectively as gamers you could change things for the better or even like make a competition out of it, out of actual trash talking instead of, or making it funny.
Yeah.
That's part of why I really enjoy some YouTubers who troll people, not like throw slurs at them or threaten to rape them, but they make jokes, puns, or they troll with, voice changers. I think that's creative.
Sure.
I think I would like to see more of that rather than these like really, to me, frail attempts to assert dominance. I feel like the real dominant people are the ones who stay quiet or speak if they need to. And kind of going back to some of these attitudes here. Actually, it's pretty funny when I bring this up. It's actually a well-known one of many well-known studies about gaming. A 2015 study found that lower-skilled male players of Halo 3 were more hostile towards teammates with a female voice, but behaved more submissively to players with a male voice. Higher-skilled male players, on the other hand, behaved more positively towards female players. The authors argued the male hostility towards female gamers, in terms of evolutionary psychology writing, female-initiated disruption of a male hierarchy incites hostile behavior from poor-performing males who stand to lose the most status. And someone replied to this, misogyny is a skill issue. And when this is actually an old study, and when I saw this first, I was like, it makes a lot of sense. Mm-hmm. Because if a woman outplays you, or whatever, you're fucked. What do you have left from this like frail perspective? But also, it makes sense to me after raid leading and raiding in ESO for so long, where the fucking dog shit, toxic casual, mid fucking tier players are so hostile to women or like just flat out dumb as fuck, or just try to impose their standards on people. Whereas the higher like skilled players, the actual endgame players, endgame raid leads, don't give a fuck if you're a woman or a man. If you can fucking heal, if you can fucking tank, if you have really great uptimes, if you can out DPS people, I don't give a fuck.
Sure.
Whatever. Join
and
the fucking
I've
team.
experienced that personally.
Raid that shit. Like, a lot of people, I think it was was it 2017 or 18? I recruited on one raid team, like, it was like 4 women, and people thought I was being nice. But I was like, first, this is my team. I'll raid with whoever the fuck I want. Second, they do well.
Right.
And they don't fucking miss raid or flake the fuck out. I don't give a fuck if they have a fucking dick or a vagina. If they can perform well, I don't give a shit. And that, I think, when I saw this study, I was like, that makes so much fucking sense.
It does. I think it comes down to insecurity and what we now today call toxic masculinity.
That is also, I think, a very interesting topic, for sure.
There are some men who cannot stand the thought of a woman being better at something than they are. And it could be narrowed down to a specific thing, or it could be all things. But those men exist, and they get extremely hostile when they encounter a woman who is a girl boss, who is better at something than they are. And they need to seek therapy is what it boils down to. And I don't understand this whole male space versus female space. As far as I view things,
in terms of what, like gaming, or
in terms of anything.
Anything. Well,
no, the way that I view things, there is no such thing as a male space and a woman space.
I think there is, physically.
Not even physically.
Okay. In the case of, this is a famous one.
Sure.
In the case of Japan, sexual assault and molestation is so high. Roping.
Yeah. Yeah, I've heard a lot about it.
Female-only carriages for trains.
Okay.
I think that's perfectly valid.
Okay, when we're talking about the safety of a person,
sure.
Yes, that's valid.
That's what I'm saying here. I think you were doing way too broad stroke here.
I think we're on different pages.
Okay.
I'm not talking about like in the terms of ensuring one's personal safety.
Sure.
Talking about in a general sense, like gaming is not only for men.
Okay, yes.
There is very little that this thing is only for this gender.
Unlock me. Sorry. Position 1, cameraman. I don't know why I did that. You gotta figure this out.
There is very few things where this thing is only for this gender. Mm-hmm. That's not really a thing, in my view.
Okay.
There is very little that men can do that women can't do.
Okay.
And vice versa. I'm not talking about giving birth. Stop it.
You like read my mind over here. Well, okay. You know, this is also a very interesting thing you were bringing up here, because there was there was a clip of a streamer I was long ago. No, he was reacting to the trailer for Assassin's Creed Shadows, and he was like pointing out, I mean, this is cool, but you know, this female ninja just out like fighting all these, not very realistic, right? Because he's like, he brought up biology, and I think we all understand that there are basic differences in anatomy and biological mechanisms between men and women, right?
Sure.
So I think there are some limitations, right?
If you are trained well enough, I mean, if we want to be truly realistic, a single person of either gender cannot take on 30 plus armed people.
No, that's what I'm saying.
So we can't like narrow that down to gender when we're talking about things in movies and video games. It's fantasy.
I'm not saying there weren't, because a lot of people are saying, oh, there were never female warriors. You've seen the comments on my YouTube videos about that shit. Or there's
There's nobody to play representing the Asian community in this game.
there's a lot.
Because women don't exist.
Interestingly, though, a lot of comments popped up because of her, that character, saying, well, no, it's not very realistic for a woman to fight in this age or period. I'm just saying, no, it's history shows it's a lot more, like, there's a lot of gray areas here.
Sure.
Yeah. So, but when you say there's not a lot of things men can do that women can do, I think there are definitely some physical limitations in terms of like weight and stuff like that.
Again, it depends on the individual person.
No, it does.
There are plenty of women who are physically stronger than men.
Sure, yeah.
That is a thing. So to say that it comes down to like strength, that's not always the case either.
On the general trend, though, there are differences in physique.
Yes, there are
ability.
differences in our biological makeup, of course. But that doesn't mean
On the
that
individual
women
level, no.
can't do things that men can, and that men can't do things that women can. Again, we're not talking about giving birth. Stop it.
Well, how are you reading my mind over here?
There are men who work in the cosmetology field.
Yeah.
They do makeup, they do hair, and they're fucking phenomenal at it. There are women who work in the construction field, and they're damn good at it.
Mm-hmm.
So you can't tell me that women can't do what men do, and that men can't do what women do. There isn't a space that is gender specific.
I think a lot of people conflate that with competition, though, if that makes sense. Does that make sense? Right? Like, naturally, humans will bring this up because competitiveness is unfortunately or fortunately part of our nature.
I don't feel like I am competitive, so I can't fully understand super competitive
A lot of people bring up the fact that can women carry as much as a man?
Again,
In a general trend.
it's really hard to
But
generalize
that's framed as a competition.
humans.
I know, but that's framed as a competition. That's my point here. A lot of people look at it in terms of competition. Because a lot of the things that have popped up over the past few years about, should girls be allowed into men's football teams or stuff like that, it's in the competitive framework rather than woman can't. It's not a matter of woman can't, but can, when they go up against men, will they be able to do it?
Some
will
can.
they be safe as well?
Men aren't even safe in some of these fields.
That's what I'm saying here. In terms of, this is what a lot of people's perspectives are. It's always competition. It's never in a vacuum.
I think that is part of the problem. Making everything a competition and pitting one against another as opposed to lifting each other up. If you see a woman who wants to join a football team, support her, be behind her, hype her up, be her fucking hype man. If you see a guy who wants to join the cheer squad, be his fucking hype man.
Yeah.
Cheer him on. Like, stop making it a competition. Not when we're talking about team versus team. Yeah, that's a competition. Choose your side. May the best man win.
1v1 wrestling.
Sure, exactly.
People bring that up a lot. Like, should a girl wrestle a boy in high school or something?
And we actually talked about this not too long ago. I think there are risks when we put men and women in specific wrestling,
competitive,
because that is a full-on hand sport. You gotta touch each other. We have very different biological makeups.
Yeah.
And if your hand slips, you can be at risk and you could have assault charges put against you. Because unfortunately, that is the world we live in. Yes, she went into this knowing the extent of this sport and what it entails, but that doesn't mean that the man is not at risk for being charged for something if his hand lands somewhere it should not. In this case, I think that it is very risky for men and women to be together in this sport. Now, if you have a women's team and a men's team, you don't have quite that risk.
Would you say then, in general, there are some sports where it's like, probably shouldn't mix
I mean,
the two
maybe,
sexes.
but when we're talking about can women
Oh yeah,
succeed,
that's a completely different
that's
story.
totally different.
Yeah. But people will conflate that with competition and thus with should they mix. And I think that's what a lot of the driving force is behind the lots of the backlash and hysteria over, transgender individuals. But it's all kind of connected, right? It's such an interesting thought pattern going on here, I feel like.
Yeah.
But I personally think there are, at least some sports where the sexes shouldn't interact.
I think more so for the safety of the individuals, not physical safety per se. Like, you don't want a woman going up against a man because she could get hurt. That's not the case in which I'm talking about. If a woman enters a male dominant sport, she knows full well that she is at risk to physical injury. That's on her. That is her decision to make. And if she feels she can stand her ground, more power to her. But when we're talking about things like wrestling, where his hand could end up on her breast, who's to say she's not going to press a sexual assault charge, right? And that puts him at risk. Or if you have a super handsy guy who tries to get away with it, right? They exist.
Exactly.
Maybe they think it's an excuse. And so she is at risk, even though she entered this knowing this is male body versus female body and the biological makeup and the strengths.
Oh, unlock me. Sorry.
Pitted against each other.
Unlock me. Unlock me. Position 1.
No.
My bad.
So it puts those at risk, I guess, legally and physically, but not in the physical sense of a competition.
Yeah.
If that makes sense. So in cases like that, you are at risk. But it doesn't mean that they can't do it, that they can't compete, that their strengths aren't up to snuff with the man's to be able to succeed in that field. It's just a risk that everybody really needs to think through before entering it.
On the subject of sports where there's weight classes and also sex separation, I think it's ultimately, up to the individual. Mm-hmm. Like, if there's a super fucking Hulk of a woman, like, she's fucking 7'2", and she wants to go compete in, I don't know, American football or whatever. Mm-hmm. Okay. But, I don't know, I think there are some sports where it's like, it's a little unfair for women to have some advantages, and also it's unfair for men to have some advantages. Sure. Like, we were also talking about gymnastics too. Mm-hmm. Like, there are some things mechanically or biomechanically that female gymnasts perform incredible fucking feats. Yeah. And it's in part due to a greater degree of flexibility and stuff.
Sure.
Whereas male gymnasts tend to typically focus on power more so than...
And there are some moves that men physically cannot accomplish because their body simply will not work that way.
Right.
It's not a matter of they can't do it because they're a man. It's their biological makeup that will not allow for their body to move in that way. But that's not to say male gymnasts succeed in where their strengths lie, and female gymnasts succeed in where their strengths lie. And I think that's a really cool thing about gymnastics is they all work so fucking hard to accomplish mind-blowing things that I could never dream of doing. It's so cool. And it's on both sides, and you can see how hard they work at it and the strength that it takes for them to accomplish this, no matter, their flexibility with it. It's still hard work, but they both can still succeed in this once seen as a female dominant sport. Mm-hmm. It's just a matter of using your body's strengths to your advantage.
Yeah.
I don't think that they would necessarily put females up against males because of this.
Yeah, I think it should be like this, like nuanced.
Mm-hmm.
Consider everything. Consider the differences.
Yeah.
You know. And maybe even leave it up to individual requests, maybe.
I think
depending
so.
on the sport. Because there's definitely some sports where women are much better at.
Sure.
There's definitely some sports where men are much better
And when we're talking about sports, I think there should be some legal protection implemented as well.
I mean, especially on part of the athletes.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
For sure. And probably the school will have to get involved. Schools will have to get involved. They don't want to be held liable.
Yeah, of course.
But yeah. Do you want to bring up one more thing before we end it?
Yeah, so I did find another short post that kind of, I feel like it might align with the previous one that I read about the micro cheating.
Oh, gosh, you really like these ones.
No, I was just flirting through this. I was like, oh, this is interesting.
Okay.
Am I the asshole here for thinking about divorce because my wife talks flirtatiously to another man, even if it's just talk and no follow through?
Interesting. So this is the male perspective.
Yeah. We are both 42 and have been together since high school. Over the years, I have changed from the love of her life to someone who she feels the need to challenge and snub at every opportunity, even the most pettiest of things. She has always been social and outgoing and goes out for mix gatherings and office-related socials, which is all fine, but the last few years, talking to other men flirtatiously, sending them hearts, kisses, and sending ego-stroking messages has increased tenfold. I found out she has been talking to someone for 18 months, and her actual phone call was just as flirtatious as she used to be with me 20 years ago. Am I the asshole for thinking that no matter what her complaint, this behavior is fundamentally wrong, and have started to finally think about divorce because her feelings toward me are so bipolar? I'm always stressed if she will start shouting or storm out of the house for things as petty as an unintentional door slam or the TV being loud.
It really just sounds like he needs to ask her, do you still love me?
Sure. Communication.
Like, why are these people coming to the internet?
Back.
Like, what? Why are you people going to the internet to post this shit?
Yeah.
I don't know. Ask her. And then go from there.
I do think most all of these come down to communication.
Wait, so he dug through her phone calls?
I don't know if he didn't say specifically.
I mean, he
if
mentioned
he
phone calls
through.
or like how she was flirting with this one man, like she flirted with him 20 years ago.
Right. Maybe he overheard a phone conversation.
I don't know.
But it started off, he feels very uncomfortable with her sending hearts or sending compliments.
Just in the same vein as I thought I had. Like, first, did she cheat? Did she physically cheat?
To me, this sounds like emotional cheating.
Hold on. But yeah, I get that. But like, for me, it's like, did she cheat yet? Mm-hmm. And if she didn't, but she's still treating you like shit because she likes this other guy more, right? Mm-hmm. Just go from there. Like, if she was flirting with this, to me, let's say I was the husband. If she was flirting with this guy, but she wasn't treating me like shit, and she has not cheated, whatever.
Okay.
Shit. I mean, that's like, okay, I'll flirt with other people.
Okay.
Why not? It's the same thing. I feel like that's just the nature
Isn't that
of it.
just being like petty though?
No, it's not being petty. It's just okay, first, obviously I'd bring it up. I'd be like, hey, I noticed you're kind of being flirty with this guy. Mm-hmm. Going forward, can I be flirty with other people too? Okay. If she denies that she's been flirty, okay, then we'll see.
This also, to me, sounds like she's trying to push him into wanting divorce. It's sounding intentional.
Why
on her
doesn't
part.
she just say, I want a divorce? Why don't people just say, I want to separate? Or can we talk?
Because most people
get
are
it.
so bad at communicating.
Why?
Could be
are they
fear
afraid?
of how past relationships went when trying to communicate.
Okay.
Could be a matter, it could even go further back to childhood, trying to communicate needs and wants and it not being dealt with properly. It could just be a matter of not knowing how to communicate what you want or what you need.
I feel like
Or it could just be you don't give a fuck.
I don't get it. But
I feel like there could be several reasons as to why a person doesn't communicate with their partner. I'm not saying it's right,
Sure.
but it seems very, very common.
all I'm hearing is cowardice.
Okay.
No, I'm serious. Like, I don't know. Okay, hold up. If you approached me and you were like, I want to break up with you, I'd be like, okay, let's talk about it. And if there's no resolution to be had, go our separate ways. Goodbye.
But as somebody
Done.
who has been in past relationships where I've tried to communicate my feelings, my needs, my wants, and it's not received well, and it turns into gaslighting, and for somehow I end up being the bad guy and trying to communicate something. Like, that's a hard thing to learn to move past. To learn that
Yes.
not everybody is
Sure.
going to receive
I feel like people should just
your communication that way.
treat it as a business arrangement or something. No, I'm serious. Why not? Business arrangement at a certain point.
What?
Okay,
We're Phoenix.
okay, hold up. If we're gonna talk,
This is the most romantic thing he's ever said to me.
what? A business arrangement? No, I'm just serious. If you're talking about communication, let's look at businesses or how the deals are done. You bring out your list of demands or your price. Can you agree? Can you reach the compromise price? Or you know what I mean? A compromise.
You do realize we're
Or
not
a solution.
talking about business, right?
I know.
We're talking about relationships.
But maybe this is a way for people to tackle on relationships. If they're afraid of.
I feel like if they come at their relationship, if they come at their partner as a business transaction,
not
it's
come
not going to
at
be
it.
received
No,
any
like
better.
not mentally treat it as such. If you can't reach an agreement or compromise, well, whatever. It didn't work out. Cool. You had a great experience together, great memories. It just simply didn't work out. It's whatever. Move on.
I feel like if that's how you're going to come at it,
Isn't that how people should come at it?
shouldn't you be sad if something is ending?
Yes. I never say you shouldn't be sad. But you shouldn't hang on to it to the point where you're obsessed with somebody or stalking them. Or,
Well, no, of course
like-
not.
or like being upset to the point you throw things at them. You know, it's just like, just try to approach it from a colder angle. So that when the temperature goes up too hot, it's not too bad.
Yeah, but if you come at it too cold, then your partner is going to receive that as you not caring.
Again, you're not displaying this coldness. I don't even call it cold. Just objective. If you're not approaching it
Sounds
with them
detached.
like this. No, it's not detached. It's not. It's, you just look at it as, okay, what can we do here? You work with them. You try your best. If it doesn't work, cool. After that, you're all good. You're both good. You're adults. You communicated. You tried your best. Move on. Don't do silly Facebook drama shit. don't fucking post on Reddit. Just go. Just go on. Be friends. Enjoy life.
I feel like
Life is very short.
I feel like in a lot of these cases, these people, they love their partner and they don't want to immediately jump to divorce, but they're feeling some type of way and they just need an outsider's perspective.
I think in this case, the thought of divorce manifested as a result of that love, if that makes sense. Like, they don't want to let go. They don't want to let go. Mm-hmm. They're attached.
Well, I mean, these people have been together. They're in their 40s.
Years.
And they've been together since high school.
Yeah.
Like, that's a long-ass relationship. That would be something that's extremely hard to let go of.
Sure.
But I mean, OP, if she's treating you like shit and openly flirting with other men, he's still young enough to go out and find somebody else.
40. Young
It's
enough.
not that old.
I'm fucking old.
Jesus Christ.
I think he should just approach her and be like, do you still love me? And go from
Of course.
there. If she says no,
but again, we're talking about
whatever.
If they're in their 40s, that's a whole different generation. And communication and men especially being able to be open about their feelings is even harder for older generations. The millennial generation is working on trying to accept that men can have feelings, and the younger generations are getting on board with this, and it's gaining traction. But when we look at generations ahead of us, they are from the hardcore man up, men can't have feelings. So since OP is the man in this relationship, he may have a hard time coming to his wife and being like, I feel this way and you're making me feel this way by your actions. Well, and trying to figure out how to make that communication happen. I could see where
sure, I get
that could be very difficult for him.
If he is of that man up thing generation, then man the fuck up and talk to her.
I could see where communication could be rather difficult.
I get that. I'm just
in this age bracket.
But I'm like half joking actually. Just man up.
This is why I hate the fact that men are constantly told that they can't talk about their feelings, because then you have situations like this where this man is feeling unloved, unappreciated, and he doesn't know how to talk to his wife to see if their marriage is even something left to save.
I think there's nothing inherently wrong kind of with manning up, but what is manning up?
That's a good point.
Right?
Actually.
Like, if manning up meant, hey, be true to yourself, open up with your feelings, don't give a shit what other people think, you do you be healthy.
Yeah.
That's cool.
That would be a great way to use man up.
Shut the fuck up.
Yeah. Don't cry about it. Don't be a little girl. Put on your big boy panties and be the strong man.
That's detrimental.
Yes, it absolutely is.
So, to that OP, I'd say, man the fuck up.
I definitely think talking to his wife, going to her and telling him what he's seeing, how it's making him feel, and finding out if on her side this marriage has a future, if she wants a future with him.
Yeah. I mean...
Communication.
Maybe we should rename the podcast to How to Communicate. You stupid fucks. How to man up.
Oh my god.
I don't know.
We're not naming the podcast How to Man Up.
Obviously we'll keep the name. But do we have anyone? What, we want to wrap it up with comments? I don't know.
Yeah, let's read chat and see. Anna said she had to go to sleep.
Do you say it's dangerous for a woman to break up with a man in private? They recommend doing it in public buildings.
Yeah, no, that's definitely a thing. And typically, when you're in a situation where you feel the need to break up with your partner in public, they bring a friend, a family member, like they've got somebody at the next table over just in case. Because there's a lot of cases where men lose their shit if a woman tries to break up with them.
They should man up.
So yeah, no, that is most definitely a thing. Yeah, 40 is Gen X.
Yes.
Okay with hard feelings. They just don't whine about them to others as much as many younger generations. Yeah, and I think that the perception of whining about your feelings and being able to talk about your feelings has... those lines are rather blurred. When somebody says don't whine about your feelings, most oftentimes that person's not whining about their feelings. They're trying to communicate their feelings. And that's where the problem is.
I feel like people could learn a lot from criminals. What?
I'm going to regret this.
What?
Please expand.
From my experience, criminals are just direct for the most part. Of course, there's like some shady fucking shit going on in the background, but like when you're dealing with them in certain settings, it's just like, I have what you want, you have what I want, right? Go for it. Just do that shit.
I think you have a very weird perception of criminals.
Hold up. And there's like cases where it's just...
Unlock me.
Yeah, my
Position
bad. Position
one.
1. My bad. I have my hand here. Position 1. I'm just saying to myself, with all these communication issues, just be upfront about it. I've met criminals where they're just like, yeah, I'm fucking pissed off.
Criminals are not upfront until they get caught. And even then, so many of them will like die on that hill of innocence. Look at Charles Manson.
Charles Manson.
Unlock me.
It's the hand.
Position 1.
If you put the hand next to your face, the cameraman will...
I talk with my hands too much. This isn't gonna work. I'm Italian. I'm not Italian.
I'm just saying.
Charles Manson refuses to admit that he was at fault.
Is he still alive?
For any of that.
Wait, is he still alive?
I don't know. I think he may have died.
I don't know.
I don't
really
remember.
Keep up with... I don't know if
I don't really keep up with Charles Manson. Like, he was a big hype in the crime scene, but like for me,
I mean, he's a cult leader.
Yeah.
I don't know if he killed anyone.
I don't really find an interest in cult
The
leaders.
issue was
like,
he ordered killings, but he didn't kill the people. So
but he won't take responsibility for that either.
Well...
He won't take responsibility for that either. And when we talk about Jeffrey Dahmer, he didn't admit to his crimes until he was caught either. And that took coaxing. We talk about Ted Bundy. He still would not admit to his crimes after he got caught. He talked about it in a hypothetical as a fictional character.
Okay, when I say criminals...
They don't take responsibility for their actions.
When I say criminals, I don't mean cult leaders, serial killers, okay? I mean just regular old...
run-of-the-mill criminals.
Transactionary criminals where they just want shit. Or something goes awry, they express very clearly how pissed off they are. And I feel like a lot of people could learn something from that. You know?
Maybe.
Just be more direct. Be more communicative. You know? Be sure.
Maybe.
I don't know. But anyway, devil's advocate about Charles Manson. I can see why he doesn't see himself responsible.
Because he's a narcissist?
No.
You can't be a cult leader and not be a narcissist.
That's not true. We're going to try to start a cult, by the way, Chad.
We're not.
But I can see his reasoning. Because from what I know from his perspective, that's what's written about it, and what he said about himself.
Mm-hmm.
He views the actions of the people in this cult as free will.
He literally brainwashed them.
Okay, hold up.
He kept them
Hold up.
so high.
Hold up. Okay, hold on. Go on.
He literally kept them drugged up and
Sure.
like spouted all of this stuff
Okay.
and like made them do test runs of breaking into houses and rearranging furniture to see if they could get away with it in preparation to commit murder.
Okay, from his view, they could have just stepped away or just said
They
no.
were too high to differentiate between reality.
Listen, if Charles Manson came to me and fucking jumped me up on all these cocktails of drugs, and he said, "You gotta kill this woman" or whatever, I'd be like, "What the fuck are you talking about?" So I can see why.
Okay,
he's
but
like,
drugs back then hit different.
What? I can see why. Unlock me.
Unlock me.
Oh, I mean, you are the one. Unlock me.
Position 1. Position 1. Cameraman, get it together.
I can see from his twisted perspective why he doesn't claim that he's responsible.
Because he's a narcissist.
Because, I mean, it is objectively true. He did not kill those people. Physically.
Sure.
Right?
Yeah.
Not saying that, for example, Pol Pot or Hitler isn't responsible just because they didn't personally kill people. Right?
He
But
is
from his
responsible
perspective,
for
he's
the
not.
deaths of those people, but he did not commit it with his own hands.
Sure.
Yes.
But he didn't see that. Or he didn't see that.
I know. That's my whole point.
That's what I'm saying, though. That's why he doesn't see it like that.
He can't take responsibility for himself. That's my whole point.
It sounds familiar. Like you're trying to apply certain labels to people who might be similar in terms of labels to potential cult leader.
Why are you trying to paint something that's not there? Not even. I'm strictly talking about Charles Manson and his inability
Casper
to
Manson.
claim to take responsibility. But it's a very common theme among these extreme side of criminals,
Okay.
the serial killers, the cult leaders. It is very common. I think the rarity is those who are like, yeah, I did that. That was me. That is the rarity.
That's the rarity.
Most of them like to play like this cat and mouse game. Like, well, I didn't do it, but if you give me this, I might be able to tell you where this body is. Like,
Because they're fucked anyway.
absolutely.
So they like to fuck with people.
And they also, a lot of the times, in a lot of the cases, it's about power with these people.
Mm.
Power over their victims, and then once they get caught, if there are other victims who have not been discovered yet, then it becomes power over the police.
Yes.
So when you talk about criminals, that's where my mind goes, and those guys
my mind goes
don't know how to communicate.
My mind goes to transactionary criminals, where they do dealings, they have treaties, essentially, is what you would call them within a nation-state context. Mm-hmm. They have agreements, they have trade agreements, they can communicate.
Interesting. Sure.
And they're upfront about it.
Mm-hmm. A businessman-like approach.
Just like relationships.
Not like relationships. You should not approach a relationship like a businessman.
No, that's not what I'm saying here. You should learn some aspects of it. Just communicate. Be upfront about what you want, what you expect. If that doesn't match, if the offer doesn't stand, fucking whatever.
Okay.
It didn't work out. Move on.
All right. I hear
Now,
you.
obviously, if you were approached as a criminal or a vindictive businessman, obviously, yeah, you would fuck their shit up. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying, take some core, lessons and apply it. Yeah.
And on that note,
That's the end. Well, unofficial end, because that was like a tangent.
Yeah.
The official one came after that last Am I the Asshole reading. Mm-hmm. We'll do this again tomorrow. Earlier.
definitely has to be earlier
How earlier?
and shorter. We can't do this for 3 hours tomorrow night.
Sure. You guys want to do this tomorrow again? I think it was fun.
It's always
You
fun.
have to dredge up more material though on Am I the Asshole here.
I suppose I could spend my day doing that tomorrow.
We could talk about that. I could dredge up that speech by the
Yeah,
that dude.
I know what you're talking
I
about.
forget his name.
The kicker for
Yeah.
Chiefs.
I haven't actually read or heard the full speech. So I'm
The
interested.
speech is really long.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like he fucking.
How many words is it?
It was like. Oh, what's the word? A monologue. It was like a damn
it's
monologue.
A speech. It's a commemoration speech.
It was long. It was unnecessarily long. If somebody tried to give that long of a speech at my graduation, I would have been ready to go. It was long, but I can definitely pull it up, and I don't want to necessarily nitpick at it and pull out just the bad, but the whole coverage
You want the whole
around this.
speech?
No. The whole coverage around this speech, the problem with this speech is what we would be talking about anyways.
Okay.
So I don't know. I don't want to nitpick and be like, this is all he said and this is bad. He had a whole speech, but this particular section of the speech was the problem.
Okay. I mean,
Does that make sense?
I can pull it up and read it before, and then I guess highlight some things that stuck out to me. Mm-hmm. Not necessarily about that part, but just in general.
In
the
general.
speech.
Mm-hmm.
All right, we'll call it there.
Okay. Good night.
Become Casper Mason.
No.